How's it going, guys? Sam from West Meadow Rabbits here. Hope you're all doing well, staying safe in this crazy time. I myself am locked down at home. Obviously, you can tell I haven't been to the barber in a little bit, but that's okay. Life doesn't end, and with the meat rabbits, life definitely doesn't end. As a matter of fact, it goes on. So I have 3 litters today I want to show you of baby meat rabbits. They are 4 days old, 3 days old, and 2 weeks old. So you'll be able to get a look at what a newborn meat rabbit looks like and how different it is at 2 weeks of age. Now, the reason why this aging is perfect and the reason why I want to take the time to make the video is because that first 2 weeks is really the most important part of growing up as a baby meat rabbit. The key thing in those first 2 weeks is making sure the babies are warm in their nest box, making sure they're being fed, and making sure they're doing okay. Because if anything bad's going to happen with a rabbit, a baby rabbit I should say, usually it's going to happen in those first 2 weeks. So the first thing you're going to run into is mothers not making good enough nests. I talked about in another video how to set up a nest box and try to kind of eliminate that. So I'll be sure to link to that in the description. But that's kind of the biggest issue you see is mom's not pulling enough fur, or not making a nest, or having the babies on the wire. And that is usually due to bad mothering experience. Sorry about the noise, my neighbors are busy outside. But yeah, so anyways, a poor mother will not make a good nest or will have babies on the wire. And again, that typically, if it's the first time she does it, that's okay, you can give her a free pass. But if she's continuously doing it or not making a good nest for the babies or having babies on the wire, that's usually genetic. Mothering instincts are genetic, so if you have a bad mother rabbit, it's probably best to call her to not save any babies that you do get from her. So assuming the mom makes a good nest, if it's the winter time, that's actually a lot more important. You're going to need to make sure those babies are nice and toasty. If they fall out of the nest for even a few minutes and it's below freezing, they could die. If you happen to go into the cage and you see a baby that's out of the nest and it's cold but not frozen, I would strongly recommend you take it inside and warm it up first, because there's actually a good chance it could still be alive. There's no such thing as a dead baby rabbit that's cold. There's only dead baby rabbits that are warm. And I've seen many rabbits that you would have thought were dead come right back to life once they're warmed up, and then you can just pop them back in the nest. So it's really important in the winter to make sure there's plenty of fur on there. If you're afraid your mom's not going to pull enough fur, you can save some from the summer litters and use it as extra heating material. You can also use hay. In the summer, the opposite's sort of true. You want to make sure that the babies aren't being overheated. You might have to take a little material out if necessary, but that's usually not the case. The moms are pretty good about that. And otherwise, yeah, you don't really need to get involved with them that much. It's not true that if you touch the rabbits, the mother will reject them or eat them or anything like that. Domestic rabbits don't have that issue. That being said, if the mom is stressed out or upset by other things, she may kill the babies. So it's best to make sure that the area where the babies are at is quiet, secluded, where the mother doesn't feel like they're threatened. So without further ado, I will show you these first 2 litters, which are 3 and 4 days old. So hang on. Okay, so as you can see, I got 2 nest boxes here with litters in them, and I'll try to be quick because they don't like the wind out here. Where I'm at in New England, it's not too cold right now, so this is all right. They are, like I said, I believe this one is 3 days old and this one is 4 days old, but they're pretty close. So a couple things to look for right off the bat. You can see this mother pulled a lot more hair than this mother. That's okay, because this litter is actually larger. There's 9 in this litter and only 6 in this one. So they can actually keep each other warm. I can even feel the heat coming off of there. And you can see she incorporated a lot more hay, whereas this one didn't. That's all well and good. So you'll see a nest. This is exactly what a nest will look like. It'll be this bowl-shaped area where the babies are in, and when they're cold, the babies will burrow down, and when they're hot, they'll sort of move out, and that rustling around in there kind of aerates the nest. Again, I talked about that in my nest box video. So when you take the actual babies out, what you want to do, the first thing you want to do when your mother does have babies is take them out, make sure they're all there, count how many you have, and make sure that none of them are dead. So you can take a baby out, and as you can see, they are extremely cute. They have their eyes closed, and at 4 days old, they're just starting to get their fur in. He's a little wiggler guy. So the key thing you want to look at with a baby like this is you can see, it's kind of hard to tell, but if you look there, he has a really round belly. Oop. If you look and see that round belly, that's a belly full of milk. That means he's getting fed. So if you see one that has a really pinched, narrow belly in that area, maybe a white one will show it a little better, that means that he's not getting fed. So this one has also got plenty of milk in there. And just so you can see, that's what they look like up close. They're just getting their fur in, their eyes are completely closed. They're really dependent on their mother. Same thing with this litter. There's 6 though in here. You can see another interesting thing you'll notice is the smaller litters, because they get more milk each, they'll be the same age, but the brown one here from the smaller litter is much larger. You might not be able to tell, but it's significantly larger than the white one. And that is due to the fact that it's a smaller litter, but the mom's producing the same amount of milk. So there are some advantages to small litters. But again, for me, I'm doing meat rabbits, so it's really only practical if the litter has at least 5 babies in it. Any smaller than that, it's really not worth your effort because the cage is still taken up. The mom still has to wean them, but you're only getting less than 5 as opposed to way more. I have a litter that you'll be seeing in a few minutes that has 11. So if she can handle it, bigger litters is better, and you want to set a cutoff point where you cull breeders that consistently have less than whatever your number is. So I'm gonna pop these guys back in and we'll take a look at the older litter. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a litter of 11 rabbits. They are exactly 15 days old, so a day over 2 weeks, and as you can see, they're a whole different animal. Rabbits in this age group have their eyes open, and they look much more like rabbits and much less like a baby rodent. You can see it's just literally a mini adult rabbit. At this age, they're starting to open their eyes. Pretty much all of them have their eyes open, except maybe the runt. Yeah, here's the runt. So you can see he's a little bit delayed, but he's still got his eyes just opening up. And at this age, they'll start to hop out of the nest box. They'll start to eat solid food a little bit. So if you have hay in the nest, they'll start to nibble on the hay. Again, they'll start to hop out. If they hop out of the nest box and it's really, really cold, you can pop them back in. But to be honest, in a few days, I'll probably be taking the nest box out because it's pretty mild. Usually I like to take the nest box out at around 3 weeks of age. If it's really, really cold in the winter, I'll let it go a little longer. But any longer than that, and especially with a litter this big, and they'll start to get what's called nest box eye, and it's essentially rabbit pink eye. And what happens with rabbit pink eye, or nest box eye, is that their eye is sealed up and they actually can go blind if you don't clean it off. If I ever do get one, I'll make a video on how to clean that off, but that's okay. So yeah, at this age, they're much more wriggly, they're much more active. You're pretty much out of the woods at this point. Any rabbit that would die probably already has done so. Sorry about that. Some of the rabbits were getting a little frisky back there, so I had to cut away. But yeah, so at 2 weeks, you're pretty much out of the woods. Mostly any of the serious issues that a rabbit is going to have would have already happened, so they would have died already. These guys have enough fur on them that even if they came out of the nest box, unless it was ridiculously cold, they'll probably be okay. And yeah, they're just about ready to where they're going to be. So I'm going to pop these guys back in, and I will see you back here. Okay, so yeah, that's exactly what a baby rabbit looks like at its various stages. After 2 weeks, as you saw over there, they sort of just start to look like bigger and bigger versions of adult rabbits. So there's not much change that happens after that transformation from little pink thing to mini tiny rabbit. Like I said, the key is really having a good nest to start with and making sure you select good mothers. If you do that, pretty much everything else should be fine, and they take care of themselves. Some people, if they find that the mother abandons them, or for some other reason the babies aren't getting fed, maybe the mom's not producing enough milk, they'll try to bottle feed them. Not only is this labor intensive, I don't recommend it because you don't want those genetics in your herd anyways. If you want to bottle raise them, that's fine, and you can sell them as pets or you can eat them, but there's no point in keeping those genetics in your herd. So again, a good breeding program, really good culling, and good nest box will take care of 90% of the problems you'll have with baby rabbits, and then you just let the moms do their thing. So I hope that was informative to you guys. Make sure you stay safe during these crazy times. I'll probably be putting out another video that I'm going to record today in regards to all this coronavirus craziness, but in the meantime, keep working on your rabbits, keep taking care of yourself, and keep trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. If you like this channel, I'll be putting out more content I'm also working on an ebook. You can check out my website and blog, westmeadowrabbits.com, and be sure to like and subscribe. So thanks a lot, guys.